Are you able to see my screen? Okay, one minute. Let me see it. Now, so this topic of Pṛthu Maharaja, who arranged the great sacrifices, we'll be discussing today. There are interplanetary communication in airplanes during that period are evident from these locus. Other demigods are coming here, and Pṛthu Maharaj even going to higher planetary systems. So that makes sure that there are interplanetary communication systems in the ancient times during the reign of Pṛthu Maharaj. And there are the principles to be followed in Vedic culture, the etiquette to be maintained when the great personalities visiting to the sacrificial arena or coming as a guest. The hospitality one should learn in Vedic culture. Even Lord Krishna himself taught about that. And what are the symbolic cultural representation? We'll be learning that. So King Pṛthu is the incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead who embody the principles of righteousness and moral governance. There are few kings like Pṛthu Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Lord Sri Ramchandra. They are symbolic in establishing the righteousness and moral governance whose footsteps should be followed by the kings so that all prosperity and all the problems can be addressed by the royal affairs. So governance is a learnable skill. One should not whimsically do governance. There will be many critical challenges to be addressed unless one is following the path of dharma, then it is not possible that one can do the true governance that can benefit every individual. There are many things goes on in the name of secularism and atheism being promoted to facilitate the mundane sense gratifications that cannot be called as moral governance. Here, people were not trained or given the path of living a life as directed by Vedic principles or the dharma, moral conducts. The ultimate purpose is not facilitated, and people are interested in sense gratifications. Then there will be issues all around. At the present age of Kali, we can see that this is happening because of lack of moral values being cultivated by the governance lagged a lot, and in the name of secularism, sense gratification, falsity, stealing the resources are going on, and that creates lots of problems. What are the skills to be learned from the life and activities of Pṛthu Maharaj? Is that Mother Earth is a source of all that we are looking after. When the cultivation, the respect for Mother Earth, living for the benefit of the all children of Mother Earth are cultured by properly maintaining the balance between the expectations and activities, actions of the living entity through the cultivation of Mother Earth, one can get all the necessary nourishments. There will be no dearth of nourishments when the importance of nurturing Mother Earth is given with high priority. That can make sure that a healthy living among all the living entities can be well established. The embodiment of leadership, Prathuma Raja was the ideal leader who governed, who gave the model of governance, adhering to the process of Vedic literature, following the footsteps of the leadership exhibited by Prathama Raja. One can bring real happiness and prosperity, the peace and prosperity. The peace and prosperity, and ultimately going back to Godhead as the meaning and purpose of human form of life, can well achieved when the good governance and taking care of the various aspects of healthy living in Mother Earth are taken care. That process are demonstrated by Pṛthu Maharaj during his reign. He established just rule, ensuring peace and prosperity in the kingdom, taken care of the need of the general people at a high priority instead of personal interests. Sacrifices are very significant. Bhagavatam says, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita in third chapter, Jagyarthat karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhana. Why we are struggling in this material world? The nature of this material world that we have to struggle for the existence. Dukhalaya asaswatam. There are many folds of miseries available in this material world. And this living in this material world will be temporary. Starting from the life of Brahma to the Brahma Gopa, the smallest living creature, and the biggest living entity, Brahma, who resides in Satyaloka. All has to abide by these principles. Sacrifices, by the means of sacrifices, one can know the right duty of himself. Because we were being facilitated by the governance of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the gratitude of expressing the ownership to the owner. When we get something from someone as a gift, we must express our gratitude towards them. We are paying electricity bill, water bill, house rent, all these we are paying to someone. But are we paying these bills which is facilitated by the mother nature? Have we ever paid the bills for oxygen? In corona time, the oxygen cylinder rate was 2000 somewhere, 1000 to 2000, and that also lasts for 4 to 5 hours, I believe, maximum 8 hours. In a day, minimum 3 to 4 oxygen cylinder you need, 24 hours. And if each cost minimum 1000 rupees, then the amount of oxygen we are taking every day are supplied by Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is 4 to 5000 per day. How many days we have lived so far? Have we ever paid the bills? Have we ever taken care that how these oxygens are coming to us? What is my responsibility when we are enjoying the rights? We must have the obligations as well. Have we performed any obligations to maintain a healthy environment that can facilitate the generation of oxygens? Have we done any planting, worked towards plantations, maintain the greenery? These are our responsibilities. So enjoying the rights without observing the obligations is the reason for the suffering. Jagya arthat karma. One should perform the activities for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. Otherwise, lokoayam karma bandhana. Otherwise, there will be the laws of karma in action. What is that laws of karma? It will give two things. One is bondage, other is the reaction of the karma. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. Whether in higher planetary system or in lower planetary system, Janma mrityu jara vyadhi continues. So bringing the ultimate welfare to the kingdom means not only the subject of prosperity, well-being is maintained in the citizens, but also they must be cultivated how to get freed from this repeated cycle of birth and death. That is the importance of maintaining the good kingdom demonstrated by Pṛthu Maharaja. We'll explain about how the interplanetary communication happened during that time. Demigods were appearing in front of the general people when Pṛthu Maharaj was performing the sacrifices. That means demigods were coming, and also Pṛthu Maharaj went to invite them. For several occasions, he traveled to the planets In Swargaloka, even in Mahabharata, we learned that Arjuna could travel to Swargaloka. So there are interplanetary communication happened during the ancient time. The airplanes were well developed at that time. So during the course of time, the connection between how the airplane systems used in Satya, Tretya, Dwapara, and Kali are missing, because when the change of ages happen, the memory and the resources are almost all get vanished during the pralaya, Samanya pralaya. So the knowledge and the resources are lost ages after the ages. So how it was happening in Dwapara or Tretya or Satya is not transmitted to age of Kali. But this same thing are attempted through the advancement of science and technology. So utilizing science and technology at this age of Kali, we can fly in airplanes. But however, our interplanetary communication system is not that advanced that anybody can go. Nowadays, certain efforts are being applied in America. New president even announced that there will be development in traveling to Mars. More visiting to Moon and Mars will be facilitated in the near future. The importance is that the communication between demigods and the citizen of earth are very important. Te te bhavayantaha. When bhavayantaha parasparam. Devan bhavayanta deva. When the living entity praises demigods, communicate with the demigods or Supreme Personality of Godhead through the process of yajna, puja, or upasana, prayers. The communication between demigods and human beings establishes the right meaning, purpose, and the requirement of the living being were facilitated by the demigods. The guidance and support are being provided because demigods are the assigning authorities. Sometimes when we need rations, then where should we go? We should go to the dealer, government dealer. So we have to get subsidized ration from government dealer. So government dealer is the authorized person who can give us ration. So for that purpose, we have to go to the shop of the dealer and we get subsidized rations in most of the part of uh, India. Rice, especially, provided with subsidized cost, 1 rupees or 2 rupees per kg. So when we get this rice from the dealer, then we can analyze little bit more. Is the dealer giving this rice with the subsidized cost? Is it true or false? So it is neither false nor absolutely truth. So dealer is the agent of government. The supplies are happening the subsidized cost instead of 40 rupees. 30 rupees, 38 rupees are subsidized. That subsidy is not given by the agent but by the government. So, but to get this subsidized rice, we must reach near the dealer. From outside shop, we cannot get that. For that reason, we have to come to the right dealer or the right agent of the government to get that necessities. Sometimes the government officials, like those who are working for army or some other government department, they were being provided the necessity in the canteen. They might be provided the facilities at their doorstep. So government can take necessary steps to their regular workers or to their confidential workers to provide the facilities at their doorsteps. So those who are directly taking shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead himself can take care of the living entity, devotee, directly, or his direct department can take direct care of the persons. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti asritaha. Those who are great devotees, they are under direct control of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the direct department of Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the direct department of Supreme Personality of Godhead? Yogamaya Sakti. When Lord Krishna performed any pastimes, he performed the pastimes by the arrangement of Yogamaya Sakti. When ordinary living entity do any activities under the influence of guna and karma, then he work under the influence of Mahamaya Sakti, three guna achara. Under the influence of three modes of material nature, he acts helplessly. So this way, it is essential that one try to come out the influences of three modes of material nature. Guna guneshu vartante. These guna, three modes of material nature, is the acquired quality of the living entity by his actions. However he act, accordingly his guna are developed and contributed, and that creates his course of life. All such accumulated guna are nothing but the consciousness which can be covered, shrunken, developed, blossomed, fully blossomed, covered, shrunken, budding, blossomed, fully blossomed are the five level of consciousness. So depending upon the guna and karma, one's consciousness get one of these positions, and with that he enjoys or suffers the consequences of the material world. So the great personalities give their associations and give us the learnings. When we follow this culture of respecting the great personalities, there are regular communications due to the following of the process of regulative principles, dharma. People during that time, under the supervision of Maharaja Pṛthu, had access to the demigods to take the guidance and support. So this way, the balance, the equilibrium and healthy living in the nature and the cosmos were in resilient manner helped all the living entity being prosperous and happy by their activities. So the great personalities, demigods, they comes even in this age of Kali, especially when Gorak Mahaprabhu appeared. After that, till now, there are many great personalities. Srila Prabhupada came, our Guru Maharaj Dr. T.D. Singh came to establish this path of devotion service through the mean of science and spirituality, because this is also called the age of science and technology or iron age. The age of Kali is the age of science and technology. Unless the science and technology are utilized as a tool to understand the meaning and purpose of human form of life, we cannot achieve the ultimate success in preaching the science of Krishna consciousness. So, Prabhupada was so serious about that and entrusted this responsibility by creating Bhaktivedanta Institute to the founding director, His Holiness Bhakti Sarvadandar Swami Guru Maharaj, Dr. T.D. Singh. So, this way, the science and technologies are developed to help the human being, but if the moral values are not being followed, the objective of human form of life is not possible. People will be increasing in getting more and more comforts for the sense gratifications. You can see modern air travel, space vehicles, all were possible. Ancient time the transport were different concept, and now the concept is appear to be very advanced. But these same things, the same airplane systems were all flying through various scientific principles which is not understood but could be exhibited by the process of mantra. In future days, you can see flying car, flying bike, drones are getting more advanced. In some places of the earth, you can see that drones were sophisticated to play the role of flying car also. Science and technology is increasing. However, the concept of ancient transport were much more advanced, where science of energy conversion were better than the present systems of utilization of fuel. See, the breaking of hydrogen and oxygen produces energy from water molecule. Water molecule is available in the space, in the air. Oxygen is available, hydrogen is available. Energy can be converted by the breaking down of molecules into atoms, endothermic and exothermic. Some places energy is required to create bonds, some places by creating the bond, the energy is getting released. And that all can be exhibited when a proper mantra is recited by the reciter. Mantra is to control, and the controllers are the demigods, air, water, ether, fire. There are specific demigods. When a spiritual scientist, Vedic scientist, recites the mantra is the process of communicating with the controller, and some of the energy conversion principles are applied, and that mantra facilitates the air travel, which is beyond the understanding of modern age scientific advances. Anyway, when mantra is not cultivated by the people, then it is only Lord's mercy that He given the other options of the advancement of science and technology, through which we are more mechanistic and forget the place of Mother Nature behind everything. Prakriti Kiyamanani Gunai Karma Sarvasa. Even though Prakriti is in action behind supporting all this scientific advancement, so in the name of scientific advancement, our knowledge is so deteriorated that we do not see that. Purusa Prakritistahi Bhunje Prakritin Jan Gunan Karanam Gunasangvasya Sadasad Joni Janmasu. Living entity enjoys and suffer by the influence of modes of nature, but he is not aware of that. Even though Vimudha Nanu Pasyanti Pasyanti Jnana Chakyusa, who is not cultivating this science and science of Bhagavat culture, will not understand the controlling hand of Mother Nature and Supreme Personality of Godhead in all these, and will not understand this. Hare Krishna. Any questions?